Let's bid goodnight once again as we delve into the issue special. Continuing where we left off, let's begin this episode by focusing on the Kashmir matter. This particular topic is often discussed with Mr. Meat in the studio due to its long-standing animosity spanning many years. It has been responsible for sparking numerous wars throughout history. While portions of the territory have been designated on maps, the reality is that true division has proven elusive.
Furthermore, recent developments have thrust this contentious issue back into the spotlight, particularly in the wake of the April terrorist attack, bringing two nuclear powers on the brink of confrontation. Adding to the complexity of the matter is the contentious issue of water, a frequently debated topic.
It is worth noting that the United States and Israel provide support to India in this matter, with Prime Minister Modi being one of the first international leaders President Trump contacted upon taking office. Pakistan also holds significance on our radar, as evidenced by our recent hosting of its Prime Minister. Additionally, the historical connections and shared values with our Muslim brothers and sisters further deepen our interest in the region.
However, taking a step back and examining the larger geopolitical landscape, experts often consider the involvement of not just the U.S., Israel, and Pakistan, but also China and many other nations. Now, over to you, Mr. Meat. Can you shed some light on the history behind this intricate issue and offer your insights into the current developments?
Of course. I mean, sure. Let's put it this way.
On Earth is very interesting. Humanity without war. Date, from the date when there was a war to the date when there was no war. They investigated, they looked.
You don't have any, do you?
Very few, like 20 years or something like that. I mean, there is like 20 years without a war in the world.
Yes,
I'm talking about human history.
It's unbelievable.
It's that small. They also did something else. They've done something else. As sources of problems, as issues where problems persist. Do you know one of them here? For example, everyone is talking about 1947, and then he makes sense of it. So when the British left in 1947,
here we are.
There is a problem here. There isn't. Or here we are reading about Afghanistan to read. Here we are in 1980, 980, with the arrival of the thing. We start with the Russian invasion. We don't. Before that, whoever entered Afghanistan could not get out. I mean, the history of Afghanistan, the territory of what is now Afghanistan, you know what it's called? It's called the King Eater. Whoever came and tried to invade... Swallowed. And destroyed it. So it's called the country that kills kings. Well, pay attention. He came in 1980, 1980. And what happened? Russia had to disintegrate in the 90s. This is the place where the Union of Soviet Social Republics was defeated and where Besiktas left as if America was running away. We start reading history in recent history. In fact, when you look at it, when you go back further, the problems are much longer.
I mean,
it was a problem in the past too.
Were together, Kashmir was a problem.
Even under British rule. Because there is also a question of religion.
Right.
From the moment Muslims accepted Islam, and before that, it was sometimes over races, sometimes over powers, sometimes over sects, sometimes over religions. They say there are three main causes of the world war. That is, there are three reasons hidden behind the issues. Those three hidden issues: ethnic, sectarian, religious. Actually, this is not the problem. It is hidden behind it. Because when you put this, you gather power for yourself. You can't say, there is a mine here. When you say you want power, you won't find anyone.
Yes, you can.
But when you take shelter behind something, when you base it behind something, it will take you somewhere else. Like the surrogate issues we are talking about today. Today, when you look here, why this time? They say, why now? When there are so many problems in the world, when there are so many problems, when we are trying to end the Russia-Ukraine war on the one hand, when there is China's rivalry with Taiwan and China's rivalry with the US on the other hand, why? India has become so hardened? Because it's not like this. It's not a phenomenon that is the result of an explosion. People started the thing again.
That terror attack?
We started again with October 7th in Israel. You know, they always say that if October 7th had not happened, Israel would never have attacked Gaza. What would it do? It would have been lamb to the slaughter, because the Western Sharia was attacked. That's why the Western Sharia is now in a bloodbath. Same story. What are they saying? By Pakistani forces in the region. The explosion was set off by intelligence. That's why we're conducting the operation. Is that really so? Or did you remove the constitutionality of the region? Which year? This year. It's no longer a special zone like it used to be. And what else is there? We talk about water problems. We talk about the biggest water problems in the world.
Yes, it is.
Why did Egypt decide to declare war on Ethiopia? Because it built a dam. Why? Because the Nile is its main source of life. Without the Nile, is there any chance of Egypt? So let's put it this way. Where do Pakistan's same main sources of water come from?
India.
It comes from this geography, because the elevations are here. By building 3 dams here, of 3 important water sources here only, you can see the Indus River, but here they are building dams on 3 big water sources and cutting off the water. You know what you do? You strangle him.
Yeah,
You strangled him. You said, I'm going to kill you. Who do you compare it to what they are doing now?
Gaza.
Gaza. Because who is behind this group right now?
America.
With America.
Israel.
There is Israel. Because at the same time, there is another fight in the region. What is that fight? Who does China support? He supports Pakistan. Pakistan and China has now become a common ally. Where does this connection lead? China, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Bilog is coming. Are the only nuclear power in this group, the only Muslim in the world. Who is the Muslim nuclear power?
Pakistan.
Pakistan. And China? China. Its most important strategic investments in Pakistan. The master probably knows it too. From the Navy up to the Air Force. Very important investments that he does not give to other countries. 5th generation fighter jets to Pakistan. It bought ports, through pipe horses, oil and gas to China. Big. China has investments in Pakistan. At the same time, there is great competition between China and India because the US is in a global fight in terms of population against China, and the country it is trying to bring as a power is India. He is trying to bring it against China. He's trying to bring it against India. If we look at it only from the bomb that exploded here, it would be like looking at my backup in Gaza. But it's not like that. Will this be over tomorrow morning? I mean, for example, if tomorrow morning all the perpetrators of the bombing are found, will it be over?
It's over.
It will not end, because when you look at the fight, there are a few main points, one of which is, this is the place. Everyone knows that this is the place to scratch. Within this problem, the water problem has emerged. At the same time, the autonomous structure in the region was cancelled. Earned rights have been cancelled. Many things are happening. And it is India that is doing all this behind the scenes. So, into a fight. Then India is becoming more and more ultra-nationalist. Already, and the winning parties are such parties. Hindu ultra-nationalist parties. Now, a war between 2 nuclear powers has been facing for a very long time. Namely, whoever fought it would only come to this. Can you remember a war in a very long time when 2 nuclear powers faced each other?
I don't.
You don't remember, do you? Yes. For the first time in very recent history, 2 nuclear powers have faced each other. And right now, but there is conflict in the region. Conflict in what sense? Border outposts are being attacked. In areas close to border posts, captured, killed. This region, unbelievably mobile. A little bit. Is there a presence? in a field the size of Ukraine, that's going to take place in the region. So is the area a small area? This place that we look at as problematic may seem like a thing to people. I mean, may sound like a small area. The total size of this so-called Kashmir problem, 220,000 square kilometers. That's not so little, is it? The size of England. Oh, the size of England. People think that when you look at India, when you look at Pakistan, you think it is like a tiny place. It's not. We are talking about 220,000 square kilometers. So Turkey's, you could say, almost a third. In an area of 1/3, soil, water, population related, there's a big fight. Will it turn into a war? It has in the past.
Yes, it has.
In the past,
In the
because
past.
of this problem. India, they went to war 4 times. They did, so I can't do something like this. Will they fight each other? I mean, if they fought in the past, I can't say that they can't fight today.
Yes, they can.
They can fight.
Well then, will it be on a bigger scale this time?
Let's put it this way. Let me go to another scale. One more thing. Pakistan is ours. What kind of agreements do we have with Pakistan? I mean, what do our defense cooperation agreements with Pakistan cover? The answer to this question, you probably know. I mean, if Pakistan goes to war with India, to what extent will we take Pakistan's side in this war?
I mean, we have very serious agreements in the field of defense.
Do we know how big that is? Do we talk about it?
Okay, tell us.
From submarines to frigates, frigates to UAVs and UCAVs. No, it was something else. But I mean the defense cooperation agreement. When it does, will Turkey be part of it or not? Defense cooperation agreements. I mean the
Yes,
ones
we
we
will.
have talked about so far. For example, we have such an agreement with Azerbaijan. Do we have one with Pakistan?
We will be a direct party.
No. That's why I'm saying that these things aren't explained. It is not disclosed. But Pakistan is one of our 2 strategic regional partners. One is Azerbaijan and one is Pakistan. These are 2 important countries for us. They are 2 countries that we have always stood by, us. Military, what Karabakh is to Azerbaijan. This is the same problem for Pakistan. This will not only end between Pakistan and India, because everyone has a problem with each other here. Everybody.
Yes.
Everybody has a problem here to fight with each other for looking at each other sideways. China too. There are territorial disputes between China and India. I mean, China has a territorial dispute, announced its absolute support. I said I am behind Pakistan. I said I am behind this. Now think about it. The world is Ukraine, in the Russian war, destruction. If the same destruction happened in Asia,
You say, let's say God
no,
forbid.
will it go away? Obviously, India says it will not back down. Pakistan also says it will not back down.
We'll say.
Both sides are saying, I will not step back. Are there countries that can trigger this? There are. That's the bad part. I mean, there are countries. There are also countries. And there are countries that are of this mindset and will take it to a point where it will encourage war against Muslims in the world. The world has never accepted Pakistan as a nuclear power. Look, many countries in the world, nuclear power. No one has ever, nothing was done. Israel has nuclear power.
I mean, yes, it does.
But nobody embargoed it. Nobody has blocked it. Or it applies to other countries. It applies to India. Has India been told that you have become a nuclear power and have nuclear weapons? Who gave you permission to make nuclear weapons? But Pakistan said, no, brother, you are a Muslim country. You will never have the chance to do such a thing. I am saying once again the point we have reached today. Pakistan is a very important country for us. When I look at it, I cannot talk about India as Pakistan. Pakistan is our strategic partner militarily. Azerbaijan, Pakistan, and Turkey. We do almost all our exercises together. The results, if we try to look at it as a case of a country in Central Asia far away from us, we are wrong. And this has global consequences. India is important, a producer country. A producer country. This will have consequences. 2 nuclear powers. I don't know if he's using nuclear weapons.
Yes, it is.
But here, China has made no secret of the fact that it will be part of this war.
Yeah, laughs, yeah.
I mean, actually, this also comes to mind. As you said, India is already in a more advantageous position against China in this trade war, with the decisions of the United States. It will be much stronger.
If we
for it
get
all.
caught up in the notion of greatness in war, we will be wrong. If we go with that mindset, I am not talking about you. This question will always be asked. Ukraine against Russia had already been shattered. Where is Russia? Where is Ukraine? The military power of Russia, the military power of Ukraine, let me put it this way. Pakistan's military power is not much less than India's military power. Even militarily, as soldier quality, and the quality of pilots is better. Pakistan's strength,
You mean qualitatively?
in terms of quality. Pakistan not only has no money, India is one of the world's leading countries economically. And in terms of population, it is one of the most important countries in the world in terms of total size. It can transfer resources. But would that give Russia an absolute overwhelming advantage, as you see in the Russia-Ukraine war, if it did? When it came to Afghanistan, the United States said that Afghanistan had never, he shouldn't be able to open his mouth. Now, from the United States of America, he took off running.
Yeah, It's
Look,
never
the
like
problem here, it will trigger Iran. The problem here will trigger China. I mean, don't think of it as something. Don't think of it as a Russian-Ukrainian war. The consequences would be much heavier for the world.
that. Yeah, We will move on to Iran from here. But before that, Jihad Hocham, I would like to ask you, because here, as Mr. Meat also said, India belongs to Pakistan, by the way.